Welcome to the lounge. My perfect lounge would be an open hearth fire, a shag pile carpet, and a huge decanter of sherry with my favourite lady sitting by my side. What would be your perfect lounge, Lord Dunkley? Obviously in the castle or
there's a big plasma. There's a big plasma ball.
Yeah.
There's a musical instrument close by, preferably a guitar, something I can kind of doodle on.
Okay.
And yeah, some fine Glenfiddich Scotch.
Oh, Scotch. And Rossi?
Just something big enough to have a Royal Rumble, I think.
Royal Rumble. Welcome to the lounge. Loads to talk about this week. We go from the madness of I'm a Celebrity to the physicality of the NFL with Lord Dunkley. He is with us. Pray to him, pay homage. And next to me is the mad dog himself, who's been woofing all week to get back on the lounge. He is, of course, Ross Casey, who is getting hugely excited by what's happening on reality TV. And why not? As my grandma used to say, or she used to go, why not me? All right, so let's start with a bit of FA Cup. Your beloved Bristol City are at home to Telford, which is the biggest town in Shropshire, do you know?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is, 30 miles west of Birmingham. Do you know what the most famous band to come out of Telford is?
Hit me.
The Sunshine Underground.
Sunshine Underground, I have heard of them.
Yeah, have you? Yeah. Best album was the second album, apparently. It's really good, yeah. And Danny Guthrie schooled there.
Doesn't play for them.
Did he?
Doesn't know, but that's where he was brought up. Danny Guthrie, no less, is a son of Telford.
Well, if you watched us on our Sky Sports on Friday night, which I did, you'll see that we've got no problems. We're brilliant. We're absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to is the Friday night match, the North East Derby between Hartlepool and Blythe.
That's going to be huge, yeah.
It's going to be kicking off there, big time, isn't it?
I've actually tipped that on my FA Cup page, so have a look at that.
Tremendous stuff. What do you fancy this weekend?
This weekend, I've actually done 5 tips for the page on site, but
that's called a nap hand in
really
betting parlance. Yes.
All right.
A nap hand.
Cheers for the nap hand. It's actually Wrexham, who actually rate pretty highly, not just because they have the likes of Brett Ormond and former Liverpool legend Stephen Wright on hand, but they're a decent team at home. Half of their matches in their last 10 games at home, they've actually covered a -1 handicap. I know they're up against a Maidstone team who are 3 leagues under them and only seem to be good on their 3G pitch at home. And unfortunately for them, they've been drawn away from home. So I think the -1 handicap at 21 to 10 there is a decent price on offer. And that's my tip of the weekend games in the FA Cup.
Wrexham. And many a jaunt to North Wales, mainly to go to Bala, but not to Wrexham, because my uncle lived there and he was a little bit dysfunctional. Let's do, you haven't met him, so you don't know. Let's do some NFL, getting to the sharp end. We all know now it seems to be a Green Bay, New England configuration, but there's some fascinating matchups, Anthony, this weekend. I think the Cleveland Browns story is hilarious. They're in the AFC North. They're bottom, but they can still win.
Yeah, three teams in the AFC North on 7-5.
What's all that about?
And the Bengals leading on 8-3. It's
hilarious.
Crazy. I like how you left Denver out of that original. You said Green Bay and New England. So.
Because that's the way it is.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Just accept it. And they're up against the Colts, the Browns, which is a difficult task.
It is a difficult task, but these games at the moment, as I've said on site, they're like bear traps being hidden by leaves in like a winter wood. You walk along and you think, oh yeah, Miami will get the job done against the New York Jets. They're terrible. No, they didn't. They won by 3 points. But that's not enough. And so my fingers have already been badly burnt this week already. But Cleveland, Indianapolis is a different story. Cleveland, they've exceeded my expectations for sure. They're 7-5. They're playing a pretty good game considering they've got this quarterback controversy going around like no one's business. It's very strange. They've got the young gun Johnny Manziel and the old guard Brian Hoyer, who it's just basically Cleveland. I don't think they're going to be able to hold Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis will win the game, and I think they'll win it by at least 4 points.
Right, okay.
Indianapolis on the road. Their last 30 road games, Paul. They're 24-6 covering the spread when they're favourites, which is a fantastic stat. That's more than enough for me to take it on its own. Cleveland are 3-3 on the road. They're so inconsistent and they're pretty much impossible to predict. So I'm going to predict that Indianapolis play their usual game and they're going to get the job done.
Even though they've got one of the worst overrated running backs in the history of NFL and one of the worst trades ever in a guy called Trent Richardson. Well, if your mother does name you after a river in Nottinghamshire, that you deserve it. I'm sorry. Great stuff. NFL, fantastic. Where are we going today in the lounge?
It's been a long day, mate.
There's no AC on in the lounge. That's what it is, Rossi, isn't it, baby?
That's it.
Right. Before we go to let's go to Rossi now because I do want to talk about I'm a Celebrity. The Jimmy shock. What's going on?
I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. First out, favourite to win, and first out. That just shows you how good the betting opportunities are in reality TV. It's a pretty new field, as we always say. Like it's not been very often that people can vote on these sorts of things, but you can now. And new favourite is actually Jake. And the reason that Jimmy went was because his banter with Jake went overboard and turned into bullying.
No, stop it.
I personally don't agree with that, but it seems that's what the viewers said, and a lot of the campmates actually took it that way as well. So that's clearly the reason why he's out, which is a shame because he's the entertainer. And then the next to go was Nadia, who was the quiet, nice girl. So it's kind of hard to judge who will actually be winning this. But Jake is now the favourite. He's gone around and he's really played the field a little bit with all the girls, been really nice to them, told them all the nice words, has helped them out with the cleaning, all this sort of stuff.
He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, isn't he?
I was going to say it was like Paul Jacobs.
I'm a very genuine guy. Genuine. Well, that was my 4 wives all there.
I like to think that it's all genuine, but he knows that the cameras are on, so I'm sure that he's playing for the nice guy card and it's working. But 7-4 isn't an amazing price, considering that things can change so quickly in the jungle. Carl Fogarty is the second favourite at 9-4. He's a bit of a Tarzan character in there. But the favourite girl is actually Mel, which I'm not entirely sure about because Mel has kind of polarising views. She's recently, unfortunately for her, she's recently coming out of a separation with her husband about a year ago, and this conversation keeps on coming up with Edwina, where Edwina says that she needs a man in her life, whereas Mel says, "No, I don't. I'm self-sufficient. I'm independent."
She said all she needs a man for is sex.
That is exactly what she said. Yeah.
There's plenty of free boys in this office, man. If you're willing, we're certainly able.
She might have to pay the airfare to Australia though.
Yeah, true.
But 10-3 is an interesting price for me because that sort of attitude can go one of either way. Because I think kind of with the lad boy culture, that might be like, yeah, that's exactly what we want in a girl. And for the pro-feminist types, that could be an attitude that's also seen as a positive. So perhaps that's actually done her a bit of good. And at 10-3, she could be a decent price then.
Was she your one? She your bet?
Well, she was at the start, and she was a slightly bigger price. And unfortunately for me, Gemma quit, so that didn't last very long. And Jimmy's out, so she's my last hope. So vote Mel.
Come on, Mel. Do the business. Brilliant stuff. Isn't there a Mel in that comedy, that Spanish comedy?
Spanish comedy?
Yeah, what is it called? Yeah, they're playing them abroad in Spain at a hotel.
Benidorm.
But there isn't
I don't watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, he's dead now, but I'm sure he used to be in it.
Just like Lucy Bill.
Should we do a bit of horse racing?
Yeah.
Come on, let's do some horse racing. 7:15 at Wolves on Saturday. John Gosden trained Cilento, who should have won first time out. Said the jockey rode an awful race. Should go on better in the 7:15, despite them being some big trainers represented there. I think he's up against a couple of Marco Bottis and Mr. Dunlop as well, but it should be Cilento 7:15 at Wolves. Won't be a big price, but who cares? You get more money out of backing that you would do if you're putting it in your local Northern Rock. Other building societies and banks are also available, as they say. When they say, as they say, who are they? Who are they?
The powers that be.
And also, who's Larry? Why is he so happy?
Yeah, who is Larry?
Well, it's certainly not Larry David.
No, certainly not.
You're watching an easyodds.com videocast. This is the lounge as we go into a bit of X Factor, and I'm just going to do a lap of honour very quickly around the room.
I promise he is actually doing a lap.
I am doing a lap of honour, and I tell you why I'm doing a lap of honour, because I backed Ben Hay now at 6-1,
Yep, so
and all of a sudden he's the 11-8 favourite.
Yep.
Tell us the story.
Yeah, I backed 3 people at the start of the show. Ben, who as Paul said, was at 6-1 at the start of the lives. Andrea, who's actually lengthened a little bit, unfortunately for me, and Stereo Kicks, who were at 5-1 at the time, which I'm a bit sad about, but they got to the point where they were probably the worst act, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Last week. So now, Ben, there's been a huge market move again. Fleur is no longer favourite, she's moved out to 7-4, and Ben is the favourite.
Why is that?
I honestly don't know.
I'll tell you why, because he's going to win it, that's why. And actually I have to say, Fleur was very good. I thought she was still good last week, but I thought Ben was absolutely outstanding.
I have to admit, I think the top 3 are very, very close, and I think that there's not a great deal in between them, and I think that anyone who's got money on any 3 of them are in a great shout. I think the only one who doesn't have a shout now is Lauren, and that's why
she's to go this weekend.
She's odds on to go, and I can see why.
Right.
But X Factor's a bit mad, isn't it? Because every single week it seems like the best person out of the 2 goes.
Yeah.
Apart from last week where Lauren beat Stereo Kicks, which was actually a fair shout, but that was down to the votes by the public rather than the judges. When it's down to the judges, they seem to make the wrong choice. Yeah. So 10-11 is a bit short on Lauren to leave, but I certainly think that she should be the one to leave out of the 4 left.
There you go. Wow, it's been a great week in reality TV. Gentlemen, what are you doing this weekend? Good Lord Dunkley, where are you?
I'm at home, Paul. I'm watching Sandown, I'm watching Aintree.
Nice.
Oh, I thought it would be more exciting.
No.
Rossi, I hope you're in the arms of your lovely Hannah this weekend.
I'm working in the daytime, but in the evening I shall be partying and then also hugging Hannah, yes.
Very fancy.
Hannah, we need you to come in to bring us some fairy cakes, if you would.
He's asking all the time, Hannah.
Because she hasn't been to our new office, has she?
She hasn't. And you know why? Because it's miles away.
Is it?
It's pretty out of the way.
Is it?
I imagine.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
we'll come to your flat one night then and have a fairy cake evening.
That's good.
We haven't mentioned social. Oh my, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Well, we had a massive winner, didn't we, on the Wednesday wager?
Wednesday wager went through the roof.
Oh my God.
Well done to Mr. Brian Braidwood.
Cooking fat.
Cooking fat. Unbelievable. He isn't fat, is he?
Well, don't change those first 2 letters around, because otherwise you'll be in big trouble.
if you're Northern,
Yeah.
6-1 winner.
Well done.
Unfortunately for you, you only won yourself a £10 free bet with Bet Victor, so I hope that you actually backed it yourself. 6-1 is a huge, huge price. We were looking through the history of the Wednesday wager, and we believe it's a joint best ever price.
Really?
So, well done to you, Brian Braidwood. That was excellent. And I'm on the weekend, so I'll be on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll be talking to you a lot about our best tips, our best promos, and our best banter, which I'm sure will be pretty poor.
Well, I'll be at Sandown as well, so I'll be in cahoots with you.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
I'll
Well,
be
there we
throwing
go.
a few things into Dropbox, whatever that is.
On the track
Technical.
with PJ, who actually just now has hit two horse racing winners at Wincanton.
Yeah.
So
The rest of the field fell, so they both came in. Tremendous stuff. Dunkus, thank you, sir.
Thank
Over the
you.
weekend. Bad Dog, thank you. Keep on partying, and to you as well. Join us again for another video cast of The Lounge next week here at easyodds.com. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.